maybe just getting away from it all for a while. Maybe you've thought about taking an adventure like the one that Glenn Maynard did. Glenn decided to go on a 35,000-mile trek through the 48 contiguous states in a rebuilt RV. And Glenn not only survived to tell the tale, but he has written a book about it. Glenn is originally from the area. He graduated from the University of Connecticut. He then lived in Denver for a while, but he now returned home to Connecticut. His new book is called Strapped into an American Dream. And Glenn Maynard, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Diane.
So, Glenn, tell me a little bit about what prompted the big adventure.
Well, my wife and I took a trip to Florida on a vacation, and it was like February day, and it was like 70 degrees. We're sitting in a whirlpool. We said, there's got to be a better way. So we just kind of concocted this crazy plan to just travel the country, and then we incorporated all 48 states into it and an RV, and we just kind of kept on building, using building blocks along the way, and we came up with this one-year journey.
Now, you did this.
States.
Didn't you take off on this journey just shortly after getting married?
1 week after the wedding, and we returned home on our first anniversary, so it was a week shy of a year.
Quite a honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me, when the first thing that I guess I would think about as I would be looking into the possibility of doing something like this is, how can I possibly afford it?
Right, and what we had to do is just pay off all our debt, all our bills. We ended up taking all the wedding money, selling our cars, we quit our jobs, and we just took off.
It's a pretty brave thing to do.
Yeah, the cars hadn't even sold by the time we took off, so it was we left with like $300.
Oh my goodness! Tell me a little bit about the RV that you decided you were going to spend a year of your life in.
It was about 15 years old. We rebuilt it. My brother redid the entire interior. We had friends helping out, but it was in good shape. It had 300 miles on the new engine, and we were felt pretty safe taking off in it, even though I know nothing of mechanics. We broke down on day one or day two, one of the.
Okay, yeah. That would be my second fear. Besides how am I going to afford it, my second fear would be, what do I do when the thing breaks down?
We get help. we have AAA.
Good
we
plan.
have AAA, which handles the RVs. So.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the route that you decided to take.
We needed to link all 48 states, so we wanted to do the northern states in the spring and the summer, and the southern states in the fall and winter, and zigzag path back and forth just to catch them all. So it would always be in warm weather. And that didn't work out so well.
No, apparently not. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we didn't know that there was snow in Arizona. In the mountains. We didn't account for that. We were blindsided by that one. But it was just trying to navigate. But we figured about a week per state was the plan.
Now, you did this in 1992, so this is prior to GPS.
Yes.
Spend a lot of time getting lost?
We were lost the entire trip. So we had the maps for all the states, and we were always lost. We had a book of free campgrounds. We were on a shoestring budget, so we couldn't put money into campgrounds, or we had to either stay at a free campground or a truck stop. And I think we broke the record for most nights in the McDonald's parking lot.
Now you're talking romantic honeymoon trip.
Nothing but the best.
I know how difficult it can be when you're traveling with your spouse just on a lengthy road trip of, several hours.
Right.
How did things go with your brand new wife on this honeymoon of a year?
Well, it was good. I had a sidecar. No, I didn't. It was good. We were always driving, and I was exhausted. We were both exhausted from just traveling and trying to take care of business and keep the RV on the road and trying to find a parking spot. We would drive for hundreds of miles at a time sometimes. So it was an adventure. It was it wasn't an easy pleasure trip by any means.
No, definitely not. But you met a lot of interesting characters along the way. In fact, the book is just filled with stories about those people.
Oh yes, we met gypsies. We met people who claimed to have seen Bigfoot, UFO experiences, and that they had claimed, and just a cast of characters.
They were all out there on the highways and the byways, aren't they?
Oh, everywhere, especially the spots where we had to pull over for the night. You know, where there's no lighting, there's high bear frequency, and you don't want to get out of the camper, and we have a dog that has to go to the bathroom.
Were there times when one or the other of you or both of you said, let's just head back to Connecticut and forget this?
She did once, and she just needed a break. And so we just said, okay. I said, I'll give you all the luxuries of a campground with full hookups.
You are a big spender, my friend.
What. So we spent a few days in Washington, and we just veg. She watched her soap operas, and that was that. And then we were ready to go. We hit Olympia National Park after that, and then we had to stop in Arizona because we ran out of money. Worked for a few weeks, and then said, let's get out of here. We got to go to Mardi Gras. We didn't want to miss Mardi Gras.
No, definitely not. Not after this trip.
Job. Yeah.
When you look back on it now, does it seem real to you, or does it seem as though, oh my goodness, we were a bunch of kids? What were we thinking?
It doesn't seem. It never seemed real. I mean, even while we were on the trip, it was like, we'd be living our life, and that was our life. It was like our regular life. We were traveling. Never really seemed like, oh my God, what are we doing? Well, a couple times it did hit us where we're just sitting back in the camper thinking, my God, we're living on the road. You know, the winds are blowing outside, the camper's rocking back and forth. We're like, what are we doing? But still to this day, it's just like the memories. It's like, oh my God, we did that.
Yeah. Of all the places that you saw, and as you said, you went through the 48 contiguous states, none that attracted you enough to say, this is where we ought to put down our roots. This is where we ought to raise our family, because you end up coming back to Connecticut.
Well, Colorado came close, and we moved out there for 4 years, and then I came back to Connecticut after I was divorced. But that's where the family was. That's where home was. That's where the beach was, and they had fall, and everything was there. It was like that. There's no place like home, I guess.
So you guys are divorced now?
Yes.
So you managed to live through a year on the road. It was settling down in a real house. That was the problem.
That was the problem. We needed wheels.
Well, any idea of taking to the road again, Glenn?
I would love to sometime, but I did it once for a year, and I think that's good for now. But I would definitely do it again if I had the opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. You can read all about Glenn Maynard's journey in "Strapped into an American Dream," which is in bookstores now. The author is Glenn Maynard. "Strapped into an American Dream," his story of traveling through the 48 contiguous states. It's 8:58. It's time for a look at the traffic with Mark Christopher.